This is the 2026 to 2030 business and marketing manifesto that you need to hear because nobody's talking about it. Some people are saying that courses are dead. Some are saying they don't know how to scale their business. Some are just upright confused because they're carrying all the load. You may be carrying all the load right now, making tough hiring decisions in your business, having to fire contractors, figuring out how to add additional revenue into a government contracting business, or trying to scale your service provider business, even though the age of AI has technically killed some of your content marketing initiatives. You've already proven that you're competent, you're high capacity, you're already successful, but with these types of people, there's a little bit of a problem because you rarely reach out for help. Sometimes you don't slow down to truly audit your business. So right now, we're going to discuss the 2026-2030 Marketing Manifesto, why courses aren't dead, but what actually is dead in running and marketing a business in the era of AI. This is why courses didn't die, but empty promises did without true leverage. In the 2026 to 2030 economy, we all know AI is taking off. There's some videos you can't even tell if it's a real human. And so your customers feel like if you're using ChatGPT, they know. If your message is not precise and hitting them exactly where they need to hear it and providing a sense of relief while clearly articulating their biggest pain points, they're not going to choose to work with you. They're going to choose to work with your competition. And you may see that and assume your business is broken or that people just don't buy anymore. But the reality is people do buy. I just had my highest revenue month in business, December 2025. Actually, 2025 was a huge year for my marketing agency, where most people on Instagram, on LinkedIn are like, hey, 2025 has been a rough year. But I think the tall tale sign that I'm seeing that shows why I had a better year, why my clients had a better year, and why so many others are basically almost going out of business is due to one thing that shouldn't shock you. I'm a 9-year copywriter, founder of www.tiffygwrites.co and tiffygwrites.ai. I've collectively helped my clients make over $31 million to date across education, technology, healthcare, real estate. And what I'm seeing is that small businesses do not value storytelling and empathy the way that corporations do. My most recent clients in 2025 have been tax relief firms, DNA companies who are repeat clients, functional medicine providers, and therapy practice owners. These are people that are doing real work and they're not just making courses. They are truly service providers who either add on a course or a group coaching or a one-to-one option to bring in an additional revenue stream, or they're scaling their service-based business with a team. Let me know down below which one of those increments you are in. Now, here's the thing though. AI collapsed the time between question and answer, and with it, patience for delayed results. Clients don't want delayed results. This is why it feels like coaching and courses are dead, because there's no true promise with coaching. What is the promise with the course, right? People want actual services done for them. They don't want to do done for you anymore because AI can technically do that. So it's like, why hire someone for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 if they are not going to actually execute on something that is going to free my time? Now that may resonate with you because buyers no longer reward knowledge. They reward structures that hold pressure, the type of pressure that they are experiencing right now. And you may want to highlight and put this on your wall. Explanations without intervention no longer convert. And this is only going to increase as we get to 2030. Now, I told you I've been in business 9 years, but I'm a service provider. I write website copy for clients. I come in and lead their product marketing teams and execute on data analysis, website copy, email copy, and create sales pages, both for large scale companies and small companies, because no matter the size, every business needs a communication strategy. And the 2026 to 2030 era is only going to favor those who have a communication strategy based on human data, not ChatGPT regurgitation. And this is why my business exploded at the end of 2025 with VIP days, clients paying $3,000, $5,000 to execute quickly their marketing procedures for 2026. Because 2025 was the year they realized, this AI thing is only good for research, and it's only good for secondary research. The true research happens inside a closed, one-to-one private container where you are pooling your social media presence, you're pooling your business audit, your current sales results, your current history, your career moves, and what you've been doing to apply them to real life. You're pulling stories from your childhood, stories from a couple of years ago, and not just origin stories. You need to get more creative than that, because this 2026 to 2030 economy requires that level of depth, and it's going to favor those who agree and do the work necessary, because some people feel like they would rather just go back to a 9 to 5. And that's fine if that's you, but if it's not you, then this already resonates. I think the funny thing about this, and this is why we're seeing group coaching containers kind of go out of business, again, preferencing the service delivery model, no matter if it's in education and you're doing boot camps in the summer for children or for teenagers, or you're doing therapy for marriages, or you're doing some type of healthcare one-to-one consultations where you're only working with private pay clients and not people who have insurance. Whatever bucket you fit into, community isn't necessarily the answer. Because here's the thing, they always position community, networking, go to this event, go to this conference, just do a little bit more of this and that. In practice, it's an operational drug. Participation declines, energy concentrates, and time is scarce. Authority scales better than consensus. Structure outperforms belonging. You know, in my business, I was looking back at the last 5 years, and 2020 was when I first started hiring contractors in my business. So over the past 6 years, I've hired for 5 main roles: social media community manager, graphic design assistant, videographer, copywriter, and operational support. Now, I've honed in since 2020 and looked at all of my data to see the seasons I had the highest revenue. And guess the only 2 roles that truly mattered? Copywriter, when I hire and train copywriters in my agency to write my copy and assist with client copy deliverables, and operations. These are execution roles. These aren't coaching roles. These aren't roles where it's just like, you know, cute vanity graphics and things of that nature, logos. All of that stuff is quite literally a waste of time, especially if you're a service provider. But I also have e-commerce clients who actually spend more on communication strategy, which is copywriting, through email, social, blogs, white papers, ebooks, than they do on their graphics and their logos, because it's a higher caliber marketing service. It's what actually drives revenue before they get on a call. And sometimes, to be quite honest with you, for my one-to-one coachings, I rarely have to do calls because my sales pages are written so well. Check one out for Undeniable down below. But this is what I'm seeing in my own business, and it agrees with the analytics that we've been talking about. Execution roles that deal with operational, like contracts, getting systems in order for your business to run smoothly. I had an online business manager whose structures I still use to date. Like if you're someone that's a virtual assistant, you want to be an online business manager, or you're already a project manager who has been laid off, this is perfect for you, because clients actually need that operational structure, small businesses and large corporations, so you can serve both in the way that I do. And then copywriters. I take my own advice and I invest in copywriting. I train all my copywriters with the curriculum that I use inside of my private one-to-one consulting hybrid container, Undeniable. And so I'm saying all of this to bring the point home. The future is no longer about large communities and vast networks and knowing every person and shaking every person's hand. It quite frankly never was for businesses that are actually running $500,000 per year, over $1 million per year. Instead, the future is going to favor smaller, clearer containers with higher signal depth. Now let's name the difference between narrators and builders, okay? Because AI flattened expression, it flattened emotions, and everyone just sounds like each other, to be quite honest, unless you know how to add stories from your childhood, from your clients' stories, what is going on in your business in real time. And that's like the only way to show people that you are not AI. But here's the issue: if you're not in your strategy room, and you're not in your boardroom marketing meetings for 3, 6, 12, 18 months, you don't even truly invest in marketing. You like to invest in like photography and colors and logos. That's not truly marketing. That's what we would call in social media and corporate marketing vanity metrics, or like a more vanity appeal type of era. But true marketing only deals with your message. So we're left with the difference between narrators and builders. Narrators, people who have podcasts but aren't efficient at sales and acquiring clients, talk about understanding and create course after course. But builders, they sell relief to their audience because they know there's a problem their audience is up late at night, 2:06 a.m. dealing with. For a tax relief firm that I've worked with for multiple years, is that they owe back taxes, over $15,000 in taxes, and they could be in big trouble with the IRS. For functional medicine providers like the menopause specialists that I've worked with recently, it's that these women who are entrepreneurs cannot keep ignoring their body and not syncing their cycle to their everyday life. They're experiencing fibroids, exhaustion, and they just can't find a way to wake up in the morning when they used to be so productive. They're working against their system. And for you, it could be something different. But you see the depth of the elevator pitches and the explanations that I just gave you on these two businesses. It doesn't sound like, oh, they just do another course. It sounds like they're going very, very specific and very, very deep into the niche that they deal with. And I know this is the part you don't really want to say out loud. You see many paths forward and it excites you, but it also paralyzes you. You don't necessarily need more ideas, you need more execution, and you're tired of carrying the load by yourself. You're probably married, maybe you have grandchildren, children, maybe you're traveling abroad or you're already abroad, and you're like, this has to be the year that I get out of this hole or get past this stagnancy that I'm seeing in my business, because you know the AI revolution is taking over. My private one-on-one advisory birthed throughout the past 9 years of serving agency clients, writing over 200 pieces of website copy, 5,000 emails, and over 325 ads, along with my program, Black Educators Amplified, which I retired after its 6th cohort, all cohorts being sold out. This one-to-one private advisory is what comes next. It's called Undeniable, and it works because it's a decision relief container, and it requires external judgment from an advisor, aka me, and we collapse into action in 90 days. This isn't fluff, this is execution. This is where I come in and assist you in writing your website copy, your brand new 2026 message, your 7 emails, and creating your content marketing calendar for the next 3 to 6 months. And my promise to you over these next 3 months together is that you will stop reopening the same decision loops over and over. You're going to have a clear map, a pathway to your success. Success as if a sales engineer wrote it and directed it themselves. The same corporate clients that I've worked with over my past 9 years, like Clever Education Technology, African Ancestry, and a plethora of others, which you can see down below on the sales page. I'm bringing all of that life experience to your small business if you want it. If this resonates, read the enrollment guide below and you'll have access to understand if this program is right for you or not. You can also join my email list down below as well. Check out the description. Follow me on Instagram at TiffyGWrites, and I'll see you in the next video.